Went out to Sunsoak. It felt good. It's in New Mexico you can go out and get sun vitamin. It can be 60 degrees. You'll go out and you'll feel it, and they've been telling me to do that a lot. And send DT Suzuki and I can't get on the patio and the mosquitoes and all that. It's like Earl. If you were getting radiation treatment, would you give because you got chemically poisoned by cowards that want to be professionals and deny the beauty of your life? Would you give a like Sonia sent it with me with the shorts? The story goes, no, let them see what their taxpayer dollars are doing. Wear shorts. You're uncomfortable. You don't want to see people. You don't want people. You don't want to. That's like sitting there raping children with philanthropy at school and saying it's not happening. Cover it up with some sweats. Yeah, he's right. Because you shouldn't feel uncomfortable being you. Yeah, you should be gorgeous. You should be even more gorgeous than you were getting during 2017 when you got the V down the thing and got in shape and 10% body fat because you should have been able to maintain that. You shouldn't have had pain from chemical poisoning all in your shins and lost 2 teeth. You're way too beautiful to be ignored by these perverts. But these perverts, like what happened, I was sitting there thinking about things. And it all has Rockefeller's fingerprints all over it. What happened with my mom and dad, how the cancer industry killed her, the circumstances that agitated her, the cancer that was going through, the stress that she was perpetually given by the people that denied the Lord's Prayer year one. And then they keep inventing and saying, this guy's a hypocrite. He says he believes in God and Jesus. Look what he does. Yeah, they'll all kill over my money. They'll all kill over my money. Everybody will kill over my money. You'll do it too, right? When Amy was screwing around, have you ever had to pack up your spouse's clothes and throw them out because they were cheating and laughing at you and thought it was funny because you wouldn't do it to them? And the funny thing about it is I had way more, and I think she knew it. There were gorgeous Mexican women at work that were hitting on me, that were way more attractive and had, better career possibilities and were better mothers than Amy. But the gossip was going around because of what happened when we worked at Great Beginnings, that she cheats on him. And why does she cheat on him? Because she's a puppet by the temple set when we went to Sierra Vista. We can't get them to do anything they don't want to do. We can program people like we're programming a video game. It's like they feel they have to do it. It's not that they want to do it. You think they want to do it because you're manipulating the narrative. No, I need more motion. Real tears. Take off your... No, cup his balls while you suck his dick. Are you kidding? That's Nick Nolte. He's an icon, right? It's like they're fucking sick, man. They're horrible people. Ridley Scott is a terrible human being. He's an egomaniac who will not stop trying to influence people with his ego. Okay? Ridley Scott, what's the other guy? Oliver Stone, Martin Scorsese, what's the other asshole's name? Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, you name it, they got it. They get addicted. It makes them feel powerful. They're writing the narrative that's going to form the new generation. Okay, just forgive, debt, and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful, peace, and go home and shut the fuck up before I have to kick you in the dick so hard all your relatives are running around going, I wish I didn't have genitalia. I never did. No, not once. Not even with the injury from Stephanie and attacking me. And no, and then, afterwards you don't have testicular cancer. You have an injury on your testicle. Okay? And when you have poisons in your body from a toxic environment that reproduces cancer cells, it attacks that injury. It makes sense. Starts telling you, hey, let's shut down, let's die. Right. And me, I'm not ready to shut down, I'm not ready to die. I'm ready to survive, stop 11. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm surviving, stopping, eliminating abuse, and recover. I'm ready to recover. I don't know about the rest of you fuckers. And how many more people are not going to be able to recover with me? Because you're playing games with their lives with philanthropy and technology. How many Clarks got to be shot in the head before you guys stop playing high potential? Elizabeth Matlock, 911, 911 Reno, 911 LA, 911 CSI Sydney, and CSI crime scene investigation. You're out killing people because you're addicted to it, but you're legal. You're an unnecessary action. Was that necessary? No. Okay. Money's not real, right? Right. Forgive debt and trespass, love one another, faithful peace. Right. Right. Satellites. Don't give me no lines and keep your answer. My songs, I was listening to my scan disc up. Every time they did the Lopez stuff real hard, and Earl's sitting there going, it's like I'm holding a scan disc. There's more satellites. I'm making a fucking George Clooney movie. Syriana here. Hey, give me some coffee. I want an espresso. Fucking assholes. And then a little bug got aggressive with me, and I guess it was time to get in. I was like, what are you? Hey, I came by and got curious a couple of times while I was sunbathing, and the flies came up, and I was keeping my eyes closed because I had my head up towards the sun, not looking directly at it, but getting sun on my face. And then by the time Ancestor song came on, the little bug was getting curious and coming up, and I was like, okay, I ain't never seen you before. What are you? Kept asking it too. What are you? What kind of bug are you? You look weird. You're like black with these funny little legs. Was coming up on me, and I was like, okay, well, I guess it's time to go inside then. I guess you're getting a little too emboldened by the bugs doing their things. Flies, yeah, flies do that all the time. Mosquitoes, I probably got a few, I don't know. I thought I saw one. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy flipping off the satellites, listening to the music. I was so glad that Professor Torre Jaime told me to keep that. He went on Los Panchos album, If It's Been a Year, from Revenge with Costner and Quinn. I love Anthony Quinn. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. Anthony Quinn. I like Raul Julia a lot, too. Anybody else like Raul Julia? He was one of my favorites, yeah. So, Raul Julia and Anthony Quinn are two of my favorite actors. Dorian Haywood. Yeah, Dorian Haywood's one of my favorites. Who else? Other favorite actors. Guys, anybody else got favorite actors? Dorian Haywood was one of my favorites when I was growing up. Anthony Quinn was like my favorite. Okay. Was he Zorba the Great or whatever and stuff? All I know is he plays Muhammad's uncle in The Message. Yeah. I saw that at the library and I was, oh my gosh, he went and he played Muhammad's uncle in The Message. Yeah, Anthony Quinn does. And, my favorite movie of his was when he was a bandito, a Mexican bandito that goes and has to impersonate a priest in a small town being exploited by El Guapos and stuff. And they took on the wrong priest. Right? He ends up... That was my favorite Anthony Quinn movie. Was that? And he didn't... It was like, Charlie Bronson's character in The Magnificent Seven. It's like, he didn't really want to do it. But he was desperate and he needed to hide from getting killed. And then he found himself, because these people, they weren't desperate. They were trying to be good people. But no one that was capable of protecting them would ever try to do so until Anthony Quinn's character shows up. Like Charlie Bronson, The Magnificent Seven, right? And the other kid that plays, the soccer player who had faster hands than Chris. We had to do this scene, and I had to act like my hands were slower than I'm a professional soccer player. I'm a really good athlete. And we had to do this hand scene thing for the gun shooting thing. And I tried to slow it down, but I thought, we got to make this look realistic. And as it was, Yul Brynner just, Yul Brynner doesn't have, did you see that? I just punched you in the face, right? Muhammad Ali, right? He doesn't have that kind of hand speed. He can't, And so I kept doing it. You guys started getting mad at me. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it look authentic. I want to make it look good. We're acting, right? Like Harrison Ford did when he was playing it was a busboy. It was like a carryout in the grocery store. And one of the directors told him, when Tony Curtis played that scene, he stole the scene, right? And Harrison Ford's thing was, no, I want to be I'm playing the role. I don't want to steal the scene from the actors. I want to be my role. I want to act like a kid that would be a carryout at a store that ends up being a carryout, And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy, and probably will be for life, right? because we all can't be Stoney Curtis, right? Remember that from the Flintstones, right? Okay, so it's true. We all can't. But none of us need to be the carrier. Remember Food Lion, the man who was bagging the groceries? And he was probably he might have been in his 40s. I think he was in his 50s. And I checked out my groceries at the Food Lion across the street from the Spring Lake. I went home crying, telling Steffi about it. Man, I sat there and bagged all my groceries. And I went, oh my gosh, thank you, sir. Thank you. And his eyes and I went, oh gosh, did I say something wrong? Are you okay? He looked at me and he had tears in his eyes. And he says, you was the first white boy what's ever called me sir. And I started crying, and I said, well, that's because the other guys that look like me that came through here, that they didn't have the right to call you sir. They didn't have the respect and the dignity to return you to you. You like Mr. Butler at the Pope Air Force Base, which they don't have no more. They shut it down. The barbershop. Because I was enlisted, and he called me sir. No, you don't have to call me sir, man. I work for a living. And we sat and talked. And there were 4 black men that worked in that thing. The gentleman's here, Mr. Butler. The gentleman's here. Hello, how you doing, sir? Said, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. We can call you sir if you're the gentleman. That's what they said. You're a gentleman, right? Yeah. Well, then, yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. So they came in, and that's how we were. We walked in. How's you doing, sir? It was a good day, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. The gentleman's here. Is what they would all say. Here comes the gentleman. And I remember that with Freddie, my boy Freddie Gardner, who looked like Deshaun Watson, and went, Freddie's a dog. And then I was roommate with for about 3 days and then had to leave because he screwed the girls. And I tried to tell the girl, all this stuff over here with the pretty black girl and everything, that's my shit. Don't mess with my shit. They got mad. And I told you they would not listen. I told these girls, you don't think that's telling somebody that he's going to screw around on you? Don't mess with my stuff when this, after this happens, you get mad. I said that right to the girl. And then she came back, got all mad. You didn't warn me about him. What do you mean I didn't warn you about him? I couldn't have explained it but the thing about it is, Freddie goes out with other girls is the moral from a story with a man who knows we've been friends and I'm his roommate, but it's, and they made me move out anyway because it was the wrong thing, but we wanted to be roommates because he wanted a roommate that was cool and down and the girls could make a choice. I was like, no, man, he was a trip. I love Freddie Gardner. I always will. But his desire to sexually pursue women as a conquest, ruined his life. It really ruined his life. He was very attractive and very charming. And his desire to have women as a conquest instead of, I fooled around and fell in love, right? Just destroyed his life and probably caused lots of pain in other people's lives. You just like him. You motherfucker. And the other night I was listening to Dark Lady and it's like, just leave. No, just do Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris and Dolly Parton. This part is rough. There's not much stuff, But then you guys don't have Rockefeller filming it with a Mormon cop sitting there telling you need to talk to my bishop, and me sitting there saying, no, just write this down so I can present it to the court because she's cheating on me. She admitted it to you right now, and you're laughing about it in the front yard. You're a Mormon cop. Just do your job. They didn't do their job. Boy, that bishop sure trained his parishioners right, didn't he? Yeah, you're not David Rockefeller's propaganda movie. Okay. You're my relative. I was born in Las Cruces, New Mexico. It's beautiful when you realize the Messiah was born here. All right? Peace out. It's in our blood, man. All right, peace.